exposed or exaggerated inside the 3.6 billion looting scheme claims shaking Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, a storm is brewing in Zimbabwe's political and economic landscape following explosive allegations by political commentator Knox Chivero, Comrade Knox Chivero, who claims that a staggering 3.6 billion US dollars has been siphoned from the economy through a complex web of financial manipulation, and that this alleged looting lies at the heart of President Emerson Mnangagwa's controversial push to extend his rule beyond constitutional limits. Izinoza Knox Chivero is the spokesperson with Chiwenga faction, an official spokesperson with Chiwenga faction. It used to be Comrade Geza. These claims, if proven, would represent one of the largest financial scandals in Zimbabwe's modern history. But they also remain allegations, strongly contested in official circles. Still, the details outlined are raising serious questions and fueling an already volatile political climate. The core allegation in Zimbabwe, a $3.6 billion extraction scheme at the center of Chivero's address, is a bold claim that Zimbabwe's economic collapse over the past decade is not just the result of police failures, but of a deliberate, coordinated financial extraction system involving treasury bills, state-backed agricultural programs, mining sector deals, sovereign investment structures. According to this narrative, these instruments were not used for development, but for systematic enrichment of a political elite network. Command agriculture, from food security to financial controversy. One of the earliest pillars of this alleged scheme is the Command Agriculture Program, launched to boost food production and ensure national food security. In theory, it was a necessary intervention, and in practice, critics argue it became something else entirely. Chivero alleges that over $1 billion was funneled through the program. Contracts were awarded through opaque processes. Treasury bills were issued as guarantees to private contractors. A key entity frequently mentioned in discussions around Command Agriculture is Secunda Holdings, which played a major role in financing and supplying the program. Treasury bills and the currency collapse. So, to understand the seriousness of the allegations, you need to understand how treasury bills work. They are essentially government IOUs, promises to pay in the future. But according to critics, what happened in Zimbabwe was abnormal. Large volumes of treasury bills were issued without transparency. These TBs, the treasury bills, were allegedly discounted on the black market. This created a parallel financial system outside formal controls. The result? A flood of quasi-money into the economy. And according to many economists, this contributed significantly to the collapse of the Zimbabwean dollar, hyperinflationary pressures, loss of public confidence in the financial system. While the exact figures remain debated, the broader impact of treasury bills overuse is widely acknowledged. So, from agriculture to mining, the Kubimba question, the allegations don't stop at agriculture. They extend into the mining sector, specifically involving Kubimba Mining House. Chivero claims that the government's acquisition of a 65% stake in Kubimba was not a straightforward investment, but a mechanism to absorb and sanitize funds allegedly lost through Command Agriculture, consolidate valuable mining assets under state-linked control, shield financial flows from scrutiny. The $1.9 billion deal that raised eyebrows. In 2023, Zimbabwe moved to acquire the remaining 35% stake in Kubimba. According to Chivero claims, the government paid $1.9 billion using treasury bills. $1.9 US dollar. 1.9 billion US dollars. Right. Independent valuations placed the company's worth at around $3.2 billion. This suggests a potential overpayment of hundreds of millions of dollars. Such discrepancies, if accurate, raise serious governance concerns. However, it's important to note official explanations for the valuation and payment structure have not fully aligned with these allegations. No court ruling has confirmed wrongdoing in this specific transaction. Still, the opacity surrounding the deal continues to attract scrutiny. Enter the sovereign fund, Mutapa Investment Fund, Zimbabwe. Another key element in the claims, ya comrade Knox Chivero, the unofficial spokesperson of the Chiwenga faction, is the Mutapa Investment Fund, a state vehicle designed to manage government-owned assets. Officially, its purpose is to improve efficiency of state enterprises, attract investment, centralize asset management. But critics, including Chivero, argue that it could function as a consolidation hub for strategically important assets. A structure that reduces transparency, a potential shield against future legal or political challenges. Again, these remain allegations, but they reflect growing mistrust around how state assets are being managed. Right, the political link, why 2030 matters. Perhaps the most politically explosive part of the claims is the connection to the 2030 agenda. Mnangagwa has repeatedly framed Vision 2030 as a development roadmap aimed at transforming Zimbabwe into an upper middle income economy. But critics argue a different motive. According to Chivero, extending political power beyond 2028 serves two key purposes. One, protection from prosecution. If large-scale financial misconduct occurred, remaining in power could delay investigations, influence legal processes, prevent accountability. Two, contract continuity. Many large state-linked contracts reportedly extend toward 2030. Maintaining political control would ensure existing beneficiaries retain access. Financial flows continue uninterrupted. These claims are politically charged and strongly denied by government supporters, but they are gaining traction in opposition and activist circles. Right, tobva tapinda ne-regional dimensions. A warning to Cyril Ramaphosa. Chivero address did not stop at Zimbabwe's borders. He issued a direct warning to South Africa's leadership, suggesting that regional actors should not rely solely on official narratives from Harare. The alleged financial activities could destabilize the broader SADC region. This is a significant claim because Zimbabwe's economy is deeply interconnected with the neighbors, especially South Africa. Any instability has ripple effects, migration pressures, financial exposure, political tensions. The weak Chivayo effect. Another name brought into the discussion is Wicknell Chivayo, a controversial businessman who has faced scrutiny in both Zimbabwe and South Africa. Chivero referenced an ongoing investigation involving approximately 1.1 billion rands, asset freezes linked to South African legal processes. These matters are complex and still evolving, and while they add weight to broader concerns about cross-border financial flows, they remain subject to legal determination. Fact, allegation, and political narrative. At this point, it's crucial to separate three layers. One, established concerns, overuse of treasury bills, currency instability, lack of transparency in some state deals. These are widely acknowledged issues. Two, unproven allegations. Specific figures like the $3.6 billion claim, direct links between programs and personal enrichment, intentional structuring of deals to hide funds. These require evidence and legal validation. Three, political interpretation. The idea that Vision 2030 is primarily about self-preservation, that all major economic decisions are driven by a single coordinated cabal. These are contested narratives shaped by political positioning. Why this story matters now, Zimbabwe, timing is everything. These allegations are emerging at a moment when Zimbabwe is already facing one, internal political divisions, two, debates over constitutional changes, three, growing public scrutiny of leadership decisions. In that environment, even unproven claims can have real impact, influencing public opinion, shaping elite alliances, increasing pressure on institutions. The bigger question, trust. Beyond the numbers, beyond the politics, one issue stands out: trust. Trust in public institutions, trust in financial systems, trust in leadership. Once that trust erodes, even legitimate actions are questioned, and rebuilding it becomes exponentially harder. Final thought, Mure Zimbabwe. A nation demanding answers. Zimbabwe stands at a critical moment. On one side, a government pushing forward with long-term development plans. And on the other side, growing voices demanding accountability and transparency. The $3.6 billion claim, whether ultimately proven, disproven, or partially validated, has already done one thing. It has intensified the demand for answers. And in today's Zimbabwe, that demand is only getting louder. Tiripo pamzinda wevanhu mune Zimbabwe kubva kuvanhu. Kana usori wasubscriber, please do so. Like a video, share video nemamwe hundreds of thousands emaZimbabweans anofanira kunzwawo dzidza oziva politics on this level. Thank you for watching.